Hey everyone, it's Beth Alcazar here at the 2017 USCCA Expo in Fort Worth, Texas, and we're actually kind of near your neck of the woods where you grew up. And if you didn't recognize this wonderful, fantastic lady next to me, who's not only a dear friend, but a well-recognized 2A advocate in our industry, this is Natalie Foster. And I love working with Natalie. Any chance I get, love chatting with her, have had an opportunity to work with you before. But today, we're just going to have a real great conversation about things that are really important to both of us.
Yeah.
And I know one thing for both of us, I have 3 kids, you have 1, and he's a rambunctious cutie. But I think that gets a lot of parents, especially moms, wondering, how do you deal with those aspects of rearing your children properly around firearms, keeping them safe, and teaching them at the right time? So Natalie, what do you think about all that?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. There's so much wrapped up in it, right? I mean, even from the principles of self-reliance and personal responsibility, which, America was really built on, which is so important to remember. But obviously, we're talking about different ages and stages, right? And different times in a child's life. Like right now, my 18-month-old is a handful, and I am keeping guns as far away as possible.
Yes.
He did make his first trip to the range yesterday, though, which was great.
That's awesome.
Yes, it was very exciting. I'm proud of that important, milestone in his life.
A gun girl milestone.
Gun mom. Milestone for both of us. It's true. There really is so much, and yours are a little bit older, and thinking through teaching them these life lessons, teaching them safety, all of the resources that are out there, and there's some really great resources, including Eddie Eagle, NRA's Eddie Eagle, and NSSF has Project Child Safe. All of these, and there are several others, but specifically those two have amazing resources for parents as well, and that's what I really look to and point people to when they're asking questions about how to bring up their kids safely and to keep them really secure. Of course, USCCA has a great resource as well. That video that we got to see together.
Kids and Guns. That was a fantastic thing for both of us. I think we learned from one another. And that was really the important thing for both of us, too, is to encourage parents maybe not to learn everything there is to know. I mean, there's no way we can cover it.
Yeah, right.
But to continue that conversation or to open up the conversation in the first place.
Well, I think that's key. Like, really just having that conversation, because you're right. We did learn something from each other. We learned a lot from each other, and just having those conversations like you would at a dinner table about anything else.
And I can't help it. I always say it, but it is about education, not isolation. We're not doing our children any good by keeping that a taboo subject or something we don't want to discuss. I mean, your child is 18 months, but I know you're already instilling those values and those safety rules in a way that hopefully he can start to build a foundation.
Yeah, exactly. And that's so important, that foundation and that familiarity. And I really credit you're right, I'm from West Texas originally. I live in Los Angeles, as you know, which is not gun friendly at all. But, growing up with the familiarity and the respect and the knowledge of the safety rules was critical. And I didn't even really shoot until I was in my 20s, I mean, a little bit at camp here and there, but then I didn't really get into handguns. I'd never fired a handgun until I was in my mid-20s. So, but I had that familiarity. I had that baseline and the safety, so there was no fear factor. And that's what I'm seeing, like my counterparts in LA have so much fear about it, largely from the media or from traumatic experiences that they've had. I can't tell you how many people have, ended up flat on their backs after shooting a shotgun, a 12-gauge shotgun when they were like 10 years old, totally traumatized by it, too loud, their uncle or something, gave it to them thinking that it would put the fear of God in them. And unfortunately, these people are the ones who become anti-gun activists.
Exactly.
So we have to be really, really cognizant of the way that we teach kids.
Yes.
It really, really is important, And
not only is there responsibility, I mean, there's got to be kind of almost a program you develop for your children based on their maturity level, based on the experiences they've had, and hopefully you can make those positive experiences.
Absolutely. It's so critical, and that positive foundation will raise up independent, well-versed in Second Amendment rights.
Yes.
So, children who are great contributors to our society.
Well, and that's another thing too. I mentioned that you're a big 2A advocate. What are some of the things that you actually do? I mean, besides Kids and Guns, you have some other things on your plate.
Well, Love at First Shot is with the NRA Women's Network is my show that I host, and privileged to do that. I'm really proud of that little show. It's the little engine that could. It's a lot of fun, and I think it's a great resource for women specifically. Because every season, and we're starting season 4 right now, which is mind blowing to me. But every season is a little bit different, and it's a different conversation. Season 1 we go through really all the different aspects of the basic level of from handguns to rifles to shotguns, and even hunting and cooking and that kind of thing. Just the lifestyle around guns, and that was a lot of fun. And then moving on from there, bringing new shooters in, helping them feel comfortable, even if they have a fear, or some of our new shooters were previously anti-gun. So again, what you say, education and the conversation.
Yes.
Just chatting about it. And I have these conversations in Los Angeles all the time. Yeah. And people, the guard is a little bit lower, and they're a little more accepting, and maybe will even come to the range.
Yeah, wouldn't that be fantastic? And oftentimes that's how it works, though. You plant those little seeds, and they start to sprout. Sometimes, in people that you never thought would actually change. And sometimes years later. But
and they hold the same principles, right? A lot of these people do hold the same principles that we do. They just see it a little differently. And I've been immersed in that. I know that there are a lot of people, in lots of big cities or West Coast or East Coast that have these preconceived notions of what it means to be a firearms owner.
Exactly.
And to have it to shift their mentality a little bit. Even just to, move the needle just a little bit actually does open a window for us to be able to talk. Well, I'm sure
that's partly where Girls Guide to Guns came from.
Yeah, that's right. Girls Guide to Guns is, Girls Guide to Guns is my website. And I started it because, it was for me new and fresh and exciting to be able to jump into this gun community that I knew nothing about, but I wanted to give it a little more personality than I have all the respect in the world for the black gun tactical folks, and then all the respect in the world for the people who like the frilly stuff.
Right.
But that wasn't me. It didn't fit. I wanted something a little different, And so I created Girls Guide to Guns to reflect that personality and perhaps that gun owner that wasn't represented in the firearms community. So that was the objective, and fortunately we've had pretty good response.
Yes.
And I think that people feel that there is something for them there in a different way. And I would encourage people, by the way, if you don't see something out there in the gun community that fits you, start it.
Right.
Because there's a need. There is, and we all have something to contribute.
Well, and ultimately I think that's what USCCA is really focused on as well, with our women's community and with the different projects and programs that we're trying to put together. And thankfully we have the opportunity to work with fantastic women in our industry like Natalie Foster and many, many others. And we're just going to continue to do our best to be either the trailblazers or the ones who help make that path even bigger.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thanks again to talk to Natalie. She's fantastic. Please check her out when you can. And thanks again for listening to us here at the 2017 USCCA Expo.